Hello and welcome to the Plainsman Museum right here in the heart of Hamilton County. I'm Lance Schwartz and this is Our Town Aurora, where the possibilities are endless. Our Town Aurora is located along Interstate 80, 70 miles west of Lincoln. 4,479 people call Aurora home. The history of Our Town Aurora can be traced back to central Iowa. Not long after the Civil War ended in the 1860s, a group of 7 Civil War veterans got together to eye the possibility of starting a new town in central Nebraska.
Aurora started in about 1871.
Megan Sharp has been the director of the Plainsman Museum for nearly a decade, so she knows the story well.
Eventually there was some discord in the group and it kind of fell apart, but they did stay together enough to come out here this far to Aurora.
Robert Miller was one of the leaders of the group that picked the location of Aurora.
They found a spot where 2 cottonwood trees were growing along the creek.
Those twin cottonwoods would eventually become prominent in the branding of Aurora.
The twin cottonwoods were originally in Streeter Park, kind of where our big sign is on the corner in that area of the park.
Megan explains how this town got its name.
One of these gentlemen from Iowa, his wife was from Aurora, Illinois. And so kind of by default, they decided to name the town Aurora.
The Plainsman Museum opened in 1976 and offers up 6 buildings full of Aurora and Hamilton County history. To the east of the main building, you'll find the Wesley Unifeld Agricultural Building.
The agricultural building was built 10 years after the main Plainsman building was built. So this building has tractors, farm implements, really shows you, the progression of farming and agriculture.
In addition to checking out farm equipment, visitors get the chance to reminisce about the good old days in downtown Aurora.
In the agricultural building we have models done by Fay Perry. He built these 2-scale models of some of our historic buildings that we have or have had in Aurora, and this is one of the most popular exhibits we have in the ag building.
This display really brings back some fond memories for longtime Aurora residents. Megan is happy to announce that the Plainsman Museum has been chosen as one of just 2 nonprofits to participate in the State Fair Cares program. Make sure and stop by to see Megan and her crew at the State Fair in Grand Island next weekend. Shortly after Doc Edgerton passed away in 1990, several Aurora community members decided to construct a hands-on science center that would be named in honor of the longtime MIT scientist that grew up right here in Our Town Aurora.
Hi, welcome to the Edgerton Center, Nebraska's hands-on science center.
Loosen it up as much as you can.
Mary Malaconi has a passion for learning and children.
And for me, this is a wonderful place to be able to bring those things together.
As the executive director of the Edgerton Center, Mary adheres to the teachings of the late Dr. Edgerton.
One of my favorite quotes of Dr. Edgerton's is to teach people in a way that they don't know they're learning until it's too late.
All right, here comes Maverick.
The Edgerton Center is a place where you can come and you can bring the whole family, or you can come as a school group and play for hours.
And most importantly,
and you're never too old to play and to learn.
I was here on Monday and there was 70-year-old people to 2-year-old people just all around here.
Bailey Howland takes notice of the ever-changing environment at the Edgerton Center.
Every time I usually come here, there's something new. I just love seeing how everything has changed.
So this is the battery.
12-year-old Caden Skorniak knows his way around the Explore It Center.
Yeah, I've been coming since I was a baby.
Consider Caden a believer in hands-on learning.
Awesome. It's fun. It makes learning fun.
You turn it green.
Jaden Nunn is using these giant bubble tubes to learn about cause and effect. For 11-year-old Sydney Dyer, the Edgerton is the hub of the social universe in Our Town Aurora.
Bailey, you get over there, I got. Well, I just like coming here and seeing like everybody, like you'll see your friends or just playing with new people. It's fun.
If you're debating on whether or not you and your family should visit the Edgerton Center, then Bailey has this to share.
I'd say don't hesitate. It's really fun and it's worth the travel.
Explore, learn, play at the Edgerton Explore Center. Yay!
In 2013, the Edgerton Center served 125,000 people across Nebraska. And believe me, Mary is very happy to announce that midway through 2014, the Edgerton Center is on pace to serve more than 150,000 people this year. Ernie Ochsner moved to Our Town Aurora 4 decades ago, and for much of that time, this mainly self-taught artist has been turning his own photographs into remarkable recreations of images that he captures all across Nebraska.
There's a process that happens when I'm painting that it's a meditative thing, because I do things fairly realistically, obviously.
Ernie Ochsner is at his best when he's got a paintbrush in his hand.
Primarily, I'm a landscape painter.
And secondarily, Ernie is an agricultural painter.
It's sort of a mix, because I tried a lot of times to find those areas where agriculture and the natural, the unplowed, the undomesticated landscape kind of match and touch those edges that are kind of, I find them kind of magical in a way. I think they're beautiful.
Ernie didn't always know what style of painter he would be, but he did always know that he possessed a unique gift.
I knew when I was 4 years old I was going to be an artist, but life comes along. And
it took him a while, but boy did he eventually hit his stride.
And I was lucky that I had parents that encouraged me.
Ernie's eyes give his paintings a very unique tone.
I'm colorblind, so my colors tend to be bumped a little bit. I have red and green colorblind, but I can see green. And, I see the little, to me this is sort of an orangey red up on the top. I don't know what other people are seeing.
This 1961 Lincoln High School graduate gets a thrill out of taking the original photographs and then turning them into paintings.
I take hundreds and hundreds of photos. I'll go out and drive around in the country and spend 3, 4, 5, 6 hours driving around taking photographs.
Ernie finds his inspiration in the natural world around him.
I'll go out and some days are real bland on one level, but there'll be something in the environment that really catches my eye. There are some that really speak to me.
And more often than not, the paintings that speak the loudest involve the green, green grass of Nebraska.
This still is a pretty integral part of what I am, and I can't imagine not doing it.
It's time now to meet some of Ernie's neighbors in downtown Aurora. For the past half-century, Al and Grace Potter have been running Aurora Floral. And at the age of 85, Grace just can't seem to give it up.
This is where we keep all of our flowers. These are little mini carnations which were not known of in the years gone by. We bought the business in 1965. It was a cool, cold day.
Grace Potter knew it wasn't going to be easy.
The banker said, if you want to work hard, this is the business to go into.
Fortunately, Grace was never afraid of a little hard work.
I've stood here for 20 hours working. Just love to do it. Try not to put any two flowers at the same level. And I remember one night, I worked all night. I laid in here on the floor and the police came in. They shook me and said, "Are you okay, Mrs. Potter?" And I said, "Yeah, I was just taking a nap before I got up."
At this point of her career, this Aurora native knows all of the little tricks of the trade.
We tape all of our vases that we put our flowers in. They hold them upright that way.
Taping the vases was always Al's job.
We stood beside each other for years and years and years. Didn't have too many fights.
As it turns out, Al and Grace's gamble of buying a floral store without any experience paid off in a beautiful way.
Oh, we just loved to work with each other.
Al was still delivering flowers 6 months ago at the age of 97.
He did a fantastic job for a man that didn't know anything about a floral business before.
I'm proud of her.
Debbie Jones has learned a lot about flowers and life from her mother.
She has devoted her 49.5 years being Aurora Floral. Aurora Floral is Grace Potter.
Debbie understands why her mother just can't seem to slow down.
Because this is her world, this is her life, and she loves this place. These are all carnations.
I just love to work. I enjoy working. Would work another 49 years if my health would put up with it. But I guess I'll have to quit pretty soon.
I am very sad to report that just 4 days after I shot this story in late July, Al passed away at the age of 97. Our condolences go out to Grace and her entire family. Al Potter was most definitely a big part of Our Town Aurora for many years.
I got 99 Pro Bowl.
Straight ahead, we visit with some of the brightest young minds here in Our Town Aurora. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Our Town Aurora. I'm Lance Schwartz. The Streeter Park Pool opened in Aurora on Memorial Day, 1969. It was a fine facility, but after more than 40 years of use, most people agreed that it was time for a new swim center.
It served us well, but it had some major problems with leaking.
Bruce Ramsauer became a member of the Aurora City Council in 2002.
We had some citizens come before the council my first year and say, we have a study that shows that Aurora Pool is outdated and needs to be upgraded.
That was the beginning of a very long journey that included 11 months worth of building the new pool to the west of the existing pool.
It opened in May of this year.
Cool, awesome.
And it's been a great success.
After more than a decade of planning, the people of Aurora are reaping the benefits of a brand spanking new $3.5 million aquatic facility. Mayor Marlon Seaman and his administration had a wish list for this project.
And we said that the number one thing we wanted to do was to have a pool that had all the amenities that were common to a pool and just a little bit extra.
And that little bit extra includes a speed slide and a corkscrew slide. There are 5 25-meter lanes, a 1-meter and a 3-meter diving board, and a zero-depth entry. That all made for some pretty happy campers on this particular 100-degree day.
Because it's so awesome here and you can meet with old friends and it's just a great place to be.
3 to 4 times as many people are headed out to the pool this year compared to last year.
The capacity of this is about 500. And some days you cannot squeeze another person in here with a shoehorn.
And that includes the young and the old alike.
You thought this was being built for 10-year-olds. That's not true. It's for us.
And by us, the mayor means anyone that is brave enough to head down the speed slide, no matter their age.
Hey, this was really fun, and it is hot, and this is a refreshing way to spend an afternoon getting wet at the Aurora Aquatic Center. It's great.
Good ride, good ride. Good ride, yep.
And if the kids aren't at the pool, they just might be at the Pack. The Pinner family built a state-of-the-art gymnasium 4 years ago that they gave as a gift to Our Town Aurora. Sports are a big deal in Our Town Aurora.
Bang, bang.
And Pack facility manager Scott Werner knows a town this size can never have enough gym space.
The community needed more gym space, and it was obvious from the get-go that we wanted basketball and volleyball. And it was a gift to the community from the Pinner family.
It was actually our 8th grade year. We were the first people to practice here.
McLean Narver is now going to be a senior.
I feel very fortunate. It's awesome being able to just come here and just shoot some hoops or play some volleyball.
It has become quite an asset to the community.
And the Aurora public school system has been very supportive of this generous Pinner venture.
They actually use the facility during the school year each day. We have practices out here, basketball and volleyball.
A variety of camps and leagues are available for Central Nebraska athletes throughout the year.
They just help us get better, and having a big facility like this definitely makes it easier for other people to come in.
We've had participation in those camps by Nebraska volleyball players, so it's been a good fit and a good get for this community. You know, there's really nothing west of Lincoln of this nature, so it was a good fit.
Over the past 4 years, playing at the Pack has been one of the cool things for youngsters to do in Our Town Aurora.
Yeah, it is. A lot of kids come up, text, hey, you want to go to the Pack tonight? And then like, yeah, we'll meet up at 7.
Allison Pinner knows a good deal when she sees it.
It's really nice. Like sometimes when the high school is being used, there's always another option. You can come here.
We can just come up here usually whenever we want. We all have keys that we just rent out.
Aaron Vinkenberg says the price is right. The cost to play here at the Pack is minimal. These guys only pay $10 a month, and they get to shoot and shoot and shoot to their heart's content.
This is all day, every day. You can come here and do whatever. And I don't know, it's awesome.
I have got to agree with Cade. The Pack really is awesome. And speaking of awesome, the Future Problem Solving program in the Aurora Public School System has been very successful since 1983.
Okay, remember today we're going to brainstorm land transportation as our topic.
Marilyn Verana has been coaching the Huskies' future problem solvers for the past 30 years.
I think it's one of those things, if you really start with this process and really get into it, it's hard not to get excited about it. Okay, how many categories do you guys have?
Marilyn says brainstorming is a critical part of problem solving.
They look at the topic, they've researched, they've studied it. Okay, now they're going to talk with their team members. They want to look at it from as many different angles as they can.
With the infrastructure, with roads.
Brody Warner feels that he's a better student because of his involvement in future problem solvers.
It really makes you think a lot. It makes you go beyond what you normally have to think about.
90% of solving the problem is knowing what the problem is.
I think one of the biggest problems would probably be safety.
The creative aspect is what Maddie Hinn enjoys most about FPS.
I really love problem solving. I love analyzing every situation, the pros, the cons. I love all of that.
The Aurora FPS program has been very successful over the past 3 decades.
In the last 30 years, we've had a team go to internationals every year.
And transportation, obviously. Yeah.
Jamie Bish uses her FPS skills all the time.
I know it's really helped like my reading and English when we take standardized tests. I'm able to read it and find what I need to because I'm used to looking for the challenges and the solutions in the problems we have.
After 30 years of leading the way in Aurora, congratulations go out to Marilyn Verana and her co-FPS head coach, Doug Monson. Together, they've gotten a lot of young people prepared for life after high school. Coming up, we'll explore the importance of agriculture here in Our Town Aurora. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Our Town Aurora, a place where agriculture is very important in the day-to-day life of its residents. For nearly a half century, the Leadership Center has been used extensively by the FFA for leadership training, but that is far from all they do.
We have Boys Hope, Girls Hope, which is kind of a big deal because they're hosting their 15th year here.
When Miley Elak Bader got hired as the executive director of the Leadership Center 5 years ago, she was elated.
The fact that I get to work for a nonprofit that connects businesses and families and organizations together in meaningful leadership opportunities and memories, well, working with an organization that is near and dear to my heart, the Nebraska FFA, I don't think I could pick a better job.
Around here, they shorten the name of the Leadership Center down to TLC, which is very appropriate because they pride themselves in their tender, loving care.
I love the place. It feels like home.
And the reason Ruth Anderson feels so at home is her close ties with FFA.
The kids, it's just new, fresh life every year and new technology, everything coming through the door. They teach us just as much as we learned in school.
We treat every customer like they are family and that we are friends with them.
Events assistant Michaela Olson feels that the Leadership Center is very important to Aurora.
A lot of people, you'll be amazed to know, don't realize that we are here. But we bring in 40 to 50,000 people a year. We serve people from every county in this state to every state in this country and many countries around the world.
Right across the parking lot from the Leadership Center, you'll find the brand new corporate headquarters of the Aurora Cooperative. Over the years, the co-op and the Leadership Center have come together to form a very effective working relationship.
Okay, corporate operations, where are you at, Chris, on that?
George Hohwheeler has been the president, CEO of Aurora Cooperative for the past 12 years.
The Aurora Cooperative started in 1908 in Aurora, Nebraska, and it started with approximately 20 farmers that got together to form a grain company. And from that, 100 and some years later, the company has grown to over 80 locations in approximately 8 states across the United States.
Business has been booming at the Aurora Co-op over the past decade.
About 10 years ago, the revenues were approximately 100 million, and today they're about $1 billion. So the company's grown about tenfold in the last 10 to 12 years.
A few years ago, this billion-dollar business had a decision to make about where to build their next generation facility.
With all the cities and towns we're in, some people thought that we would consider a different location, but we are the Aurora Cooperative. And to be in any other town but Aurora, Nebraska, didn't make a lot of sense.
At the Aurora Co-op, their adage is, be big, act small.
We are a large company, but we act small by being involved in what's going on in each local community.
Don Caldwell explains the layout at the new corporate headquarters that opened just 8 months ago.
On this side of the building here, we have a lot of activity, and it's everything the farmer owner would need. And so we have all of their grain business here. The grain trading all happens, as well as the grain settling. Everything a customer would need, they can take care of right here.
Right here in Our Town Aurora.
That's where it started, and that's where it should be.
The Aurora Co-op feels that it's important that they make a significant investment into developing the next generation of agriculture leaders here in the Cornhusker State. That's why they've chosen to generously support the Nebraska FFA. Still ahead, our final story of the show blooms around the courthouse square. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Our Town Aurora, where it doesn't take too long to realize that there are a lot of people here that care about the way things look around the courthouse square.
We're going to water our flower baskets right here, okay?
Megan Vetter takes pride in beautifying the county seat of Hamilton County.
Aurora is really a great little town.
Megan dreamed up the Adopt a Flower Basket project 3 summers ago.
The downtown had some really awesome buildings. We have a beautiful courthouse, and the inspiration from flowers just came from all of that.
32 beautiful baskets hang on 16 light poles.
They surround our majestic courthouse and our old town square.
Megan is the owner of Posh and Precious in downtown Aurora.
As a business owner, you want your best foot forward, and as a representative of Aurora, just thought that having the flowers would be a great way to present our town in the best light.
It's nice to be a part of a group that likes to beautify where we live.
Wynda Eckerson is one of about 20 volunteers that help Megan keep the flowers watered from May to September.
I enjoy it because I think it's good for Aurora. It makes Aurora look beautiful. I think plants lift the spirit.
The baskets get watered once to twice a day, every day of the week.
And it takes volunteers like Kelly Crawford to keep the flowers looking good.
I think it's a special part of downtown, and I think it makes a statement, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Well, that'll do it for our memorable journey around the home of the Huskies. For everyone at 1011 News, I'm Lance Schwartz. So long, everybody.